Potential youths refuse to join the army, we will make it mandatory for everybody from the age 18 and above.
So guys, recently this video trended where one of these military heads was seen saying if Nigerians refuse to voluntarily enroll into the military, that the recruitment is going to be forced on them. The Nigerians are going to be forcefully asked to enroll into the Nigerian military. This is coming at a time when we've seen escalated, terrorism acts in Nigeria, activities going on, terrorist-related activities in Nigeria. The Nigerian military is looking for Nigerians to help them out. So guys, this menace we are into, the government has been linked to it. You must have seen the video I posted yesterday where a security expert is saying that Tinubu entered a deal with the North. And that is why you are seeing what you are seeing in Nigeria. So guys, you need to go and watch that video, or I may attach it towards the end of this video just for you to see. Now, you are going to be watching the video where El-Rufai came out accusing Nuhu Ribadu, the NSA to Tinubu's government, that he is the one pushing for non-kinetic method for the terrorists, that if you arrest the terrorists, don't prosecute them, don't send them to jail, don't buy them, ask them to repent. Then when they repent, you reintroduce them into the society or enroll them into the Nigerian army. That is the legacy Tinubu is leaving behind. So guys, a whole lot is happening. Don't forget that the governor of KB has come out to say that he is still questioning why the military withdrew before there was an attack that the terrorists kidnapped up to 25 students. The military were supposed to be on ground, but suddenly they disappeared. And the governor is questioning why were the military men withdrawn before that attack. So guys, the military has been compromised, and now they are asking Nigerians to be recruited into the military so that they will go and face death sentence there. So guys, I'm going to take you through some of the headlines here just for you to understand what's happening in Nigeria. Like this one now, why federal government hasn't prosecuted terrorism financiers? Minister, can you imagine the UAE gave Nigeria a list of those that are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria till today, during the time of Buhari. Buhari served 8 years. Tinubu is into his third year. The APC refused to prosecute those financing terrorism, and now they are looking for innocent Nigerians to join the military to go and buy. So guys, a whole lot is happening, and this minister was on Channels television yesterday. He said, it takes a long time for them to investigate, that they need to do proper investigation before they start prosecuting. But they have jailed Nnamdi Kanu for life because he is against jihad. He's against Islamization of Nigeria. That's why they want to take him away. Anybody that is going to stop the agenda must be taken out of the way. If not, tell me why Nnamdi Kanu should receive the kind of treatment he received. Now, this is what the minister said. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says that the federal government has not prosecuted individuals suspected of financing terrorism because the process requires extensive and delicate investigation that cannot be rushed. They don't want to do it quickly. Can you imagine? 8 years of Buhari, 3 years of Tinubu, 11 years APC is romancing those sponsoring terrorism. So guys, a whole lot is happening in this country, honestly. Now take a look at this other headline here. It says, killing, Buhari offered Mieti Allah 100 billion naira compensation to Fulani herdsmen. Can you imagine? During the time of Buhari, he gave Mieti Allah 100 billion. And that is why they want Tinubu to continue in that same direction. Now, as regards to the KB girls that were kidnapped, Tinubu has ordered Metawale, that is the defense minister, to go to Kebbi State. Like this headline, Tinubu directs Metawale to move to Kebbi. Eruku bandits want 100 million ransom each. The terrorists have named their price. So each child, 100 million naira is being demanded. Ask me why did Tinubu send his defense minister to go there? Now, this post has the answer. It says, Tinubu's defense minister, Metawale, maintains contact with bandit leaders, order them to compel communities to vote for APC. Hey, sympathizers of terrorists are in Tinubu's government. Can you imagine? A defense minister has the contact of bandits and he's telling them to go and tell communities that they must vote for APC. If you don't vote for APC, we buy you. You know what the terrorists can do? They should compel. Do you know what it means, compel? That means force people to vote for APC. This is for a minister, a 7 minister. Nigeria is finished. Now, this one here says Tinubu government withdraws terrorism case against Mieti Allah president. Mieti Allah president was arrested before now, but Tinubu allowed him go despite that he has terrorism charge. And Nnamdi Kanu is the only one that has been sentenced over terrorism in Nigeria, not because he died, not because he did anything wrong. But Mieti Allah has come out openly to claim responsibility for many deaths in Nigeria. But guess what? Their leader was granted freedom because he's a Fulani man. Tinubu does not want to offend the Fulanis. But for the Igbo man don't suffer for Nigeria. So guys, I'm just quickly going to allow you to take a look at this video. You're also going to be watching the video where a security expert has come out to say Tinubu entered a deal, made a covenant with the North as regards to what we are seeing today. For you to become a president, that you must sign the deal, that there is a deal you must sign. If you don't sign that deal, there's nothing for you. So guys, take your time, watch these videos and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.
Potential youths refuse to join the army, we will make it mandatory for everybody from the age 18 and above.
Be the 100,000 men who now want recruit go into military where they want go die. Mona just carry EFCC, measure all of them, measure civil defense, go safety, make they go, yeah? Because no Nigeria youth now like this, as I tell you, no youth now, no youth way 2 cents correct go like one join. Because at the end of the day, when I go the person go just join, never enjoy salary, I don't push her go up front, go die, abi. People no want join again. Make all these our senators, make una carry una pikin, make they go the war front. And people no na poor man pikin una want send go the die, abi. Recruit additional 100,000 men. The one way una recruit, wait till they don't die finish, abi. Now poor men children I want carry go die for there again, abi. Poor men children I want carry go die. Recruit 100,000 men. Now poor men children I want carry go die. Ooh, if you like, go join. If you like, I don't talk. I don't force you. But if you like, not say you mean well for the country. From there, they don't say me they recruit 100,000 men. For me and my household, we will so Gary the wash now. Now I know. Mona picking, una we be senator, mona pick, carry una picking, mona give them the form. I poor man picking una they send they go die where. Ozige.
You can ask 3 service chiefs that served in Kaduna under my watch. One of them is still alive. Farouk Yahya was chief of army staff. He was GOC in Kaduna. I saw him yesterday at a wedding. You can call him, bring him to this program and ask him what we did. What I will not do, okay, is to pay bandits, give them monthly allowance, or send food to them in the name of non-kinetic. It's nonsense. We are empowering bandits. It's not the government of Kaduna State. It's a national policy driven by the Office of National Security Advisor, and Kaduna is part of it. Many states are objecting to that, but that is the policy now. Chase the bandits. That's the new policy. My position has always been the only repentant bandit is a dead one. Let's kill them all. Let's wipe them. Let's bomb them until they are reduced to nothing. And then the 5% that still want to be rehabilitated can be rehabilitated. You do not negotiate from a position of weakness. You don't empower your enemy. You don't give him money to go and buy more sophisticated weapons. That's why the insecurity problem has not gone away and will not go away as long as this policy continues. They can deceive, they can cover up, they can do propaganda, but those that live in Katsina, those that live in Zamfara, those that live in Kaduna, those that live in those states, they know what is happening.
Well, is that the reason why perhaps you think that there's a slowdown in the attack on schools and kidnaps that we've seen in Kaduna? The quiet we see in the Benegwari
there is no slowdown. I was governor for 8 years. I was governor of Kaduna State for 8 years. Only 3 schools were attacked in 8 years. Okay? This government has been around for 2 years. 3 schools have been attacked. And they paid the bandits. They paid them ₦1 billion the first time the school was attacked and students abducted. They are paying bandits. They are apologizing to them. They are
finding this information about ₦1 billion being paid.
Look, let the governor or anyone come and deny. We have the evidence. When the time comes, we reveal everything. They are paying bandits. They are empowering bandits. This is what this government is doing.
And you think that will not work?
It will not work. It has never worked anywhere.
I've been in the theater of conflict for 18 years. I will lead the troops. My principal is an economic wizard who transformed Lagos into the 3rd largest economy in Africa. He will concentrate on the economy. By God's grace, I will handle the security arm. Not only handle the security arm, I will lead the troops to battle across the length and breadth of this country.
This is the worst government in the history of Nigeria. You can't do anything to me. This is the worst.
When I look at Nigeria now, Nigeria, God will help us. Someone asked me a question, why am I not speaking against the president? I said, I will never speak against him. They said, why? I said, because show me a video where the man promised he would do something. Somebody went to Kanu. I came to dance. I want to show me. So why will I attack a man who didn't give any promise? No promise. But you voted for him. Show me one promise. So I will not condemn. Let's recruit you to cassava. Is that a promise? So why? Tell me what to speak. Tell me what to say against that man now. There's nothing to say. Show me somebody who made promises, then I can talk. Somebody had no manifesto, no plan, no agenda. All is my turn. It's my turn. And you vote. So it was smart. I only made reference to that because there's hunger in the land. You can't say you are not aware. When they bring bill before to me for the weekly feeding, I mean, it's nothing. When they brought bill recently, I had to call Mama. I said, are these people stealing my money? Mama said, stealing what? They're even managing it. Everything is times 4. Where you spend 3 million before, you spend 12. Everything. I'm like, what is this? Hunger. That is why Nigerians are feeling it because of hunger. And people cannot go to the farms because of kidnappers. The roads bad. And in case you think it will get better, it won't. No, it's not prophecy. It's because you understand economics, you will know that you have no control of it. And there's no plan, no plan.
Worst. You see, if you feel because you can afford things, you don't care about people who can't afford, then you have a problem. Ghana is supporting a citizen. Ghana. Listen to me. The only instrument we have is prayer. Pray. People are hungry. People are hungry. People are hungry. Sometimes I'm afraid to read my text message. I'm afraid. If I get 1,000 message, 900. Not prayer. Food. Will somebody lie with hunger? Somebody can't lie with hunger. You can lie with car. You can lie with house. You can lie with food. We are praying that God will remember us.
I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are now conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher.
It is something that we are trying to all put our heads together. That is why, from what I can do as a governor, to have this CPG as a first line of defense. Of course, military are there, police are there, as well as civil defense, but they are not under my control. They are under the control of federal government.
They keep people that side as well.
Baba, how many people you think say they kill for this one?
Of this one, presumably it will be around 35 here. Only this house. Only this house.
And tell me again, your brother wife there.
My brother wife there with his son's wife, with his children. About 5 children down here with my brother, with 2 of my brother's wife.
Okay. Baba, where did these people come from?
Actually, I don't know where, but they come this side. They came since a bush.
Okay. From back like
this place.
Okay. He will show us around. We think that maybe they are going towards Nasarawa.
Exactly. That is where they come from.
Okay. I will go and see the houses they burn.
All right.
Then I'll collect your number.
One after another.
Okay, sir.
Up to now, we as leaders in Kebbi State, we couldn't understand why that withdrawal. At that material time, when an index was being gotten, that there is likely.
Responding, the minister disclosed that the soldiers involved had already been transferred to Abuja for questioning. He assured that anyone found culpable would be sanctioned in line with military law.
The intelligence we have at hand.
Mr. Matawale also assured the governor that the federal government has mobilized all necessary resources for the rescue of the abducted girls.
The intelligence we have at hand shows that we are almost close to those children, inshallah.
Okay, so I said there was an earlier guest who actually said that there's a possibility of a complicity within the presidency and Nigeria's military, and that has allowed kidnapping and banditry to persist. So could a U.S. intervention at this point be the most effective solution?
That person that says he suspects complicity either from the ruling party or the administration or the military is not out of place. As a matter of fact, if you'd ask me, I think dealing with the subject of the relationship or the attitude of the Nigerian government with regards to these Islamists, I think it is better dealt with as a matter of complicity than any failure or whatsoever. Reason being, we have a scenario where people who rape women, who kill, who carry possibly arms that are far more sophisticated than our military, carry firepower that a single soldier does not have. You look at the chains they wear, you look at the anti-aircraft guns, you look at the RPGs and all of that. They would ride on motorcycles for possibly a couple of kilometers, come into a community, and then they sit with Islamic clerics, they sit with armed military officers, with politicians, they hold the microphone, they give their brief and dictate why they should not be called terrorists, how they are also human beings and all of that. And then sometimes they are even chaired by the same people who are supposed to be their victims. Now, a government that sees that, and when they are done with what they are doing, they move back to where they came from. So you wonder what exactly happens to the Air Force? What exactly happens to the military? Why not wipe them out? But it looks as if there is a certain, the complicity is such that terrorism itself, Islamism, is being mainstreamed into the daily life of Nigerians. That is basically the nature of complicity I see. And that is why it will take an intervention, especially in the face of stark denial of an obvious genocide. It will take the intervention of certain foreign powers into the country for the sake of eliminating this terrorist, or perhaps waking Nigeria up to its responsibility. Otherwise, nothing is going to change. It has been on for almost 2 decades. So we will be deceiving ourselves to feel at a certain point, maybe the Nigerian government only needs some diplomatic ties where resources, military hardware, intelligence will be supplied to them and they will end terrorism. The government does not look like a government that is overwhelmed by terrorism. It does look as if key players within the government or the ruling party are basically dealing with, this basically Islamist killings is a pet project to such individuals, basically. So
they haven't been able to capture one terrorist or capture any bandit leaders. They hold meetings with them. One bandit in Katsina killed an assistant commissioner of police and put on his uniform to come for dialogue in Katsina. He did not even discard the uniform. After killing him, took his gun, he wore that uniform with the epaulets in place, with the rank in place, and came to Katsina for an open meeting in the uniform of an assistant commissioner of police that he murdered. And you say you have government in Nigeria. So that's why we call for a revolution.
First and foremost, a lot of people have been asking, what exactly are we dealing with? What is even going on?
I want to speak without a shred of doubt right now that what Nigeria is dealing with, it is both an ancient and a modern problem. And this is bigger, including religion, but bigger than religion. This is not an Usman Danfodio narrative. It's a more modern, more deadly, more intelligent Hydra, a supremacist agenda that was perfected by Osama bin Laden when he globalized the global resurgence of religious terrorism. This is not merely a Fulani problem. It's bigger than that. There are at least about 5-6 groups that we are reckoning with. It has a head in education. It has infiltrated our security defense systems. Over the years, it has infiltrated governance. It has infiltrated media.
Okay, so thank you so much, Daddy. But I feel like so far you have been speaking in parables. You are not naming. Okay, so you said 5 different heads. You need to put names. Also, you need to give the evidence of all these things that you are saying.
I told you it's a supremacist agenda that was designed to use Islam as a cover. That's why for the first 15, 16 years, it was targeted only at Christians first. I told publicly that in the later years, towards the end, when they're about to strike Nigeria completely, they will start killing Muslims as well. So I said that about 10 years ago. You are dealing with something that is global, but has a local face. Its objective is to take the whole of Nigeria, not some of Nigeria. Now, it's going to use Islam and the Sharia to take Nigeria. All over the world, its tactics are different.
Who is trying to take Nigeria?
Now, let me put it for you like this. The architecture for the intelligence behind this thing is more than the local intelligence. But they have contacted local actors. You see, there's what they call the ISWAP. The Fulani is there. Then you have the Kanuri-dominated Boko Haram. Then you have Lakurawa, Ansaru, and all those other offshoots of the global template provided by Al-Qaeda. Many-headed, only one heart. And what the idea is to take Nigeria, take West Africa, take the rest of Africa, and then use that resources to dominate the world.
Okay, so it's Al-Qaeda that is trying to take over Nigeria through these different terrorist organizations.
An intelligence created by Al-Qaeda between 1991 and 1996, Osama bin Laden was in Sudan, perfecting the model of how to globalize terrorism and rule the world with Sharia. And he knew they would have to kill Muslims as well. So what we're dealing with is bigger than just a religious problem. It's a supremacist agenda covering its face with Islamic religion.
So for people that may be watching right now, some of them will say we've been hearing about things like this for a long time. Where is the actual evidence? Like what you said Bin Laden drafted in Sudan. Is there a record of it somewhere? Like some people would say, where is the evidence to the things that you're saying?
Okay, one of the greatest weaknesses of the African nations of the world, including Nigeria, is the inability to mathematize inquiry. That is to collect statistics and data, crunch it, and then do what they call concatenation. That is to join all the dots and use that to come to a conclusion and predict things that when they happen, you will not be surprised. If you follow the media in Nigeria over the past 20-something years, there's nothing I have said beforehand that did not come to pass, including when the color of the terrorist, the color skin of the terrorist is going to change in the latter hours, when they are bringing in people from the Maghreb and they're bringing in other people from outside of our borders. So if you want evidence, I will give you some. Number one, let me give you something very simple. There's no place in the world that has responded to an already documented resurgence of global Islamism by claiming to arrest terrorists, and then you claim that you have de-radicalized them, and then you absorb them into the Nigerian army. You see, that one alone is an amazing case of stupidity. I've never heard of this kind of madness before. An armed robber comes to your house, you arrest him, instead of prosecuting him, you claim that you have changed his mind, and you now make him join your megadis. That is, of course, one. Number two, if we collate, I can tell you from the beginning, one of the things I discovered from the year 1999 to 2000 was government complicity. And why do I say so? We have reached a stage now where we are not afraid of anything anymore. In those days, we were more afraid of the enemy within than the enemy without. So today, there can be documents that I will give you, we'll put on display. When you find out that young girls are kidnapped, married off, taken away from their husbands, I mean, sometimes young girls are kidnapped, sometimes wives are kidnapped, married off Islamic way, and you will see that if someone will come, the governors were aware. I can give you a case where we had to curb a terrorist attack in Kaduna State. We could tell you the modus operandi. It started with Gumi when he came back from Mecca, when he came back from Saudi Arabia. His first tafsir in Kaduna was a call to violence, to slaughter. The VHS came to me because we have been setting up early warning systems, and this is what a real early warning system is to prevent something. When we got it, we translated it into English, and at that time it was Obasanjo who was the president of Nigeria. Thank God for the Foursquare General Overseer, who is now late, Wilson Badejo, who assured me that what we prepared and gave to him was given to Obasanjo in his bedroom. But what they didn't know was that we were still monitoring Kaduna to see whether the arms build-up towards the execution was going to stop. When we saw that it was not going to stop, in fact, this is a good example I'm giving you. I had to call a special strategic session with media, because media is a force expander in this new war form, this Hydra-headed war form. At that time, the man they call Additional, who became Buhari's media, whatever, was at that time an editor-in-chief or something in one of the newspapers. They gathered together, and I told them, this is the problem. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people. Femi Additional. They are about to kill 600 to 900 people in Kaduna. And I said to them, we have sent all the information to the army, to all the places. There's nobody stopping them. Unknown to them, we were monitoring. The Gumi boy went into the SSS office in Kaduna laughing and came out laughing. When I got that report in Lagos, we decided to call this media meeting and said, look, how do we solve this? Now, there's a headline that we had to put up where they did as if they interviewed the head of CAN and had to interview Gumi. Immediately, we took the front pages, the full pages in the newspapers and the new media, and the news blew across the world. The queries came to the president of Nigeria. It was reported to me directly that the Gumi boy entered, then it was a small boy, he entered the SSS office. This time he didn't come out laughing. He left the country immediately. Now, this is a guy who has been banned by Saudi Arabia. They didn't allow him to enter Saudi Arabia. Let me give you another proof. I was on television when I found out there was no other way of escape, when an Al-Qaeda operative was already appointed as a federal minister in Buhari's government. And I questioned...
Do you mind naming that minister?
What's his name? Something, Issa Pantami. How do I know? I supervised an evacuation in 2004 when a young Christian was slaughtered in the mosque of ATBU. That's Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University. Okay? Now, when we supervised that, it was this Pantami, who was a lecturer in that university at that time, who put a fatwa on certain students because they preached the gospel to Muslims in a university. And at that time, when they killed that boy, we had to go and evacuate the others whose names I spoke to them recently. They are still afraid till now. The young guys. Brought them into Lagos. We made arrangements to take them into other countries where there's better respect for human worth. And then Sunday Achi was the name of the student who was murdered. Okay? At that time, for you to know how this thing works, there was a bishop who was working with the Obasanjo government who went to arrange for the burial of this boy. And when I said, let us make it an issue, they at that time were cooperating because they didn't realize how dangerous this Hydra is. Later, that Hydra attacked that bishop, almost killed him, finished his secretary. Fortunately, they couldn't catch his wife. They maimed him. And today, he's one of the forefront advocates who has realized how dangerous this thing is. I could easily give you many more examples. One of the former head of state who was claiming that there was nothing in his time, I was at a meeting with him in his home in Ota. When he gave me his own version of what he believed was going on, I said to him, sir, during your government, they were already building up more and more, infiltrating more and more. I said, do you remember a meeting you went to have in northern Nigeria when these things happened? When you left, they slaughtered every member of the family that entertained you. I said they were sending you a warning to back off. Now, some years later, he went for a security meeting outside Nigeria, and I think when they showed him the build-up of what is coming into Nigeria when the final phase comes. Look, the Nigerian army in totality, everybody knows what the number is. The last time they engaged the BH on 3 war fronts, it took almost 2.5 weeks to overcome. So everybody realizes that if you think the Nigerian army can withstand a combined forces of what ISWAP has planned in the future, what is working for us right now is very simple. Nigeria is 220 million people strong. The number of all these people who want to swallow Nigeria, they're not even up to 450,000. Now, the strength of this is, let me break one nonsense that is going all around. And this is what we have to be careful to counsel the US government about. Anybody who looks and thinks that the Fulani is a primary problem is a joker. The Fulani is not the primary problem. All the combined forces of all these people is not up to 400 and something million. Now, is it this ill-educated...
400 and something thousand.
Yes. All these ill-educated, all these, what can I say, anachronistic human beings who are wearing loincloth all over the whole place, do you think that they are the real problem? Listen, the Fulanis have told you that they were busy using their six when people came and gave them AK-47s and took their children to go and train. Why don't we realize that it's the intelligence that is arranging logistics, that is arranging safe passage for them? I have boys in the army. We used to pray for them. When they locate the enemy position in the Nigerian army, a signal comes from Abuja that they should not attack. The signal will be delayed. After 3 hours, they tell them, now go. The Boko Haram will have left that place.
So
what more proof
are
do we
you
need?
saying that the Nigerian government is involved in what is
What are you saying? Even Jonathan, before he left, openly said they are in my cabinet. Look, this thing has been known to collapse nations from within. So there's nothing new about what is going on in Nigeria. It's just like the architecture of thought. I would rather speak to the younger generation, the digital generation who understand programming. Because it looks as if the older generation don't have what it takes, don't have the understanding to acknowledge that there's a problem here. And let us come squarely. My eyes are on the president of Nigeria. He needs to be careful. Yes. Listen to me. I have nothing against him personally, but I can tell you something that is very, very clear to anybody. Now, he is an astute, consummate politician, but he doesn't realize that there's a global problem that he's dealing with. In order to become the president of Nigeria, nobody can argue there were deals that went on. And in an essence, what he did was that he, more than anybody else, realized that there are many factors to the Hydra. In terms of the kinetics, apart from the Fulani, the Boko Haram, the ISWAP controlled, Ansar, Lakurawa and Co. And what he did was to play them against each other so that
you
he
are
could get a seat in the
alleging that
presidency.
President Tinubu had a deal with the terrorists?
Excuse me, whether we like it or not, it is no longer a secret anywhere in the world that.
So, but what's the evidence? Some people will say that.
Okay, let me give you talk. Let me just give you. Let me throw you one quickly. People don't realize that the Mandela bombing in Niger State, the Catholic church that was bombed in Niger State, the fellow who headed it actually was in Lagos, in Snake Island, 2 days, 3 days, and then traveled to northern Nigeria to take his team to execute. What does that tell you? Now, when he got into police custody, he was arrested and he miraculously escaped. When he escaped miraculously, where was he rearrested? Where did he take up refuge? He took up refuge in the lodge of a serving high-placed government official from Borno State, who happens to now be who? The vice president of Nigeria. So what am I talking about here? Tinubu is one heartbeat away. You see, I feel sorry for him. In a way, we need to protect President Tinubu's life. He may think he has the guts to face these people, but I can tell you something, he has totally misread the size of the problem in which he has gone to double his hands.
Okay, so you said a lot of things. These are serious allegations.
Please, don't even bother. I'm the one talking. We are, listen,
yes.
We are the circumcision. We worship God in the spirit. We rejoice in Christ Jesus and we have no confidence in the flesh. I'm a statesman. We worry about the generations to come. I'm not worried about the next election. There's nothing I'm saying that cannot be substantiated, not only within Nigeria, but globally. So let nobody deceive themselves. He's so-called, look, why do you think the federal government is trying to deny an evident truth? And all these people who have collected 30 pieces of silver, all these people speaking from two sides of the mouth, who are just shifting positions like the mendacious president that we have, why do you think they are going on like that? Because there's a plan. If this intervention had not come, and the president was allowed to go through his 8 years, who will he hand over the country to? And does he think they are not wise enough to know that if they are able to eliminate him, into whose hand does the country go? Now, this is where the problem is. If the country goes into the hand of the Boko Haram, the Fulani will not be happy. Those who are, look, let me give you a good example. An open secret. When Shekau became
Are you saying that the country will go into the hand of Boko Haram after Tinubu?
Please. If you remember very well, just after he came in, there was some kidnappings, some bombings, and then there was an outrageous demand for one impossible, I can't remember, was it 20 billion or something, impossible amount of money. When that demand was made, it was not really because they felt that kind of money will be paid. It was a direct message, a coded message to the presidency. Everybody is aware now that there was complicity in the times of in terms of the former president Muhammad Buhari. Like I mentioned Issa Pantami. Also, don't forget about that his interesting governor who turned against Buhari in the last minute, who was persuaded to turn against Buhari, the worst governor Kaduna State has ever had. And I said something when Kaduna State was
Governor El Rufai.
Yes. Look, let's not even go there. Go and look at his tweets in the earlier years. Go and look at his own open admission on television that he left Nigeria to neighboring countries with money to go and sponsor the terrorists who had come to kill in Nigerian territory. Why did they have that kind of confidence then? Was because they knew they had entered governance. Now, as I'm speaking right now, listen, we need to reformat this country. And there's an opportunity that has come right now that if we mismanage this opportunity, let me tell you something, even God in heaven will look away when in the south part of Nigeria, in the eastern part of Nigeria, 13-year-old girls end up being raped. Look, there was a blogger recently who was being political, and I want to tell everybody prophetically right now what is coming up for those who refuse to face truth, those who refuse to give value to the lives of others. A young blogger recently said that there's no genocide, I'm a Christian, I don't feel threatened, long live P-Bat. She was one of those who was killed, if the account that is coming is right, in Kwara State in a church attack. Oh, she thought it was far away. Now, this is the fate, sadly, of those who live in
by opportunity, you're talking about Trump saying that he would interfere with what is happening in Nigeria.
Well, I prefer the word intervention. And let me put it for you like this. For any godly-minded person, the declaration of Nigeria as a country, a CPC, that designation...
Yeah.
Yes. That designation is a human designation. What we should worry about is that God in heaven himself had already declared Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Listen, according to prophecy, Nigeria is supposed to be the trigger of a global move of revival. Then the other side too decided that Nigeria must become the epicenter of the next greatest satanic attack against the entire world. So the destiny of Nigeria is what we're fighting for. Look, the corruption in Nigeria, I gave an interview when President Tinubu entered, and I did remember saying that it would not be an honor for anybody to serve in this dispensation. After the negotiation, he bought. Look, the mantra of this government is this: whatever problem money cannot solve will be solved by more money. Not realizing that there's a hyper-dimensional problem, a problem bigger than money. Look, let me tell you something, the mistake that he's making. The whole Nigerian budget, when you look at it every year, all said and done, comes to how much? Maybe about $30 billion. How much does the diaspora remit to Nigeria every year?
$20 billion.
So,
Yes, sir.
When you hear Nigerians, you see, when poverty has been weaponized against a nation, people cannot think anymore. The older generation have been reduced by the weaponization of poverty. So, look, thinking is an expensive thing. So, it's not easy. Don't blame the average Nigerian.
Okay.
People are susceptible to money.
So, Daddy, before we round up, you've said a lot of things. Are these things that you can defend, like the allegations of the president,
in my sleep,
the vice president being part of, the Boko Haram?
In whose house was Kabiru Sokoto? In whose home was Kabiru Sokoto hiding before it was picked up? Please, if not for global interference in Nigerian affairs, we are ready 90-something% to the day of doom. So if we like, let us miss this opportunity. All those talking from the same different sides of the mouth, they will soon know what it is that we are dealing with.
Exactly what do you want the US to do?
Very simple. There are 4 sets of people who are talking to us in the US. Number 1, those who are genuinely concerned. All right? Number 2, we have those who are looking for government appointments. Number 3.
In the US, looking for government appointments in Nigeria.
Looking for government appointments in the US. They are careerists.
Trump's administration.
Then there are those who know that money, US dollars, follows policy. So if not for Trump, they will not be speaking up. They are there. And then there's a last set of zealots who are so zealous that they reject God's wisdom. Those ones are what we call sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. They are equally as dangerous. So this is what I want us to do. If Nigeria cooperates properly with the window that God has used Trump to open, there's something that I cannot talk about in detail now. It's called the flight of two eagles. There's a bald eagle in that vision that can rescue the green eagle. Now, if we are able to eliminate the unnecessary voices that are fouling the waters in America for us, both within those against us and those for us, and remain only the voices that are looking forward to the future of Nigeria, let me tell you what will come out of it. Number one, Nigeria will become a nation. Watch this, where the value of life will be something else. We will leap from quantum leap to the forefront of global civilization, all within 4 to 8 years. Number two, the Nigerian foreign exchange right now that is about 1,600 naira to the dollar can be brought down to at least 1 to 250 to 350 naira to the dollar if we cooperate properly with understanding to tailor the American response in a way that will be profitable to the global community.
So have you discussed any of this with the Nigerian government? Have you presented
a government that is busy denying? Listen, the moment the Nigerian government is ready, even for President Tinubu, there's a way of escape for him. I fear for his life. If you do a proper concatenation and look at the analysis of what's on the table and the way these things are going, he can't trust anybody around him because there's an option open to them, which he is aware of. Okay? But Nigeria cannot afford that option.
What's the option?
Well, the point is this. If he cooperates with us, we have been studying this thing, we have been watching over this, we will create a Nigeria where no Muslim, no Christian is oppressed. Now, let me tell you this. When the generation of Awolowo and Zik and Co., when they got independence from Nigeria, Pax Britannica did not allow us to lay a firm foundation for a prosperous country. The divide and rule included religion. Now, this opportunistic hydra created by Osama bin Laden is using that opportunity. Now, if only Tinubu will cooperate, I will tell him that the first friend of Nigeria in America, first of all, in the olden days, was a man called Frank Wolf. Next is Chris Smith, Congressman Chris Smith. After him, we want to thank people like Louis Gohmert, we want to thank people like Ted Budd, Peter Ricketts, we want to thank people like Josh Hawley, we want to thank people like James Langford, then Ted Cruz. But most of all, this is better than any Nobel Peace Prize. We need to thank God for the two tweets that Donald Trump, they are prophetic.
So, but since Trump said that he was going to get involved, the killing has actually gotten worse, and the government is not doing anything, really. The young government is not doing anything.
Needed to happen to prove to the Nigerian that the government is so compromised, it does not care about your life. All it cares about is to win the next election, which will be very big. The last election that is really democratic in Nigeria.
This is a lot for people to digest. In the course of this half hour, you have implicated the president, the vice president, the entire cabinet, the military is compromised. A lot of these things, like the military being compromised and so on, people know. You've talked about El Rufai, you've talked about Sheikh Gumi, the minister that you mentioned, Issa Pantami.
Issa Pantami, what does he want to respond? His articles were on the Al-Qaeda website, globally exposed in France, everywhere. All the intel that has been given to Nigeria from foreign nations has been neutralized by the Nigerian government all these years. Who can deny that?
I'm really hoping that the Nigerian government will respond. I'm really hoping that they would respond to this.
Please, we have gone past that level. Where we are now is how do we save Nigeria? How do we salvage the nation? How do we create a future for all our children across the entire nation? Don't let the blood of the people who have been slaughtered through the years, past more than 20-something years, we should not let their bloodshed be in vain. Unmerited suffering is often redemptive, and that's the way we should go now.